So, ma'am, you saying that the case was closed out?
Yes, ma'am. The case has been closed over 20 years.
And who you say closed it out? Because I have no knowledge of it.
The officer that you spoke to explained to me that day.
No, she didn't. The officer that I spoke to when I called in, they told me a couple of years ago the officer S. Moore was no longer with the system, and they told me that my case was just lying doormat. And then they told me that they had erred because the police department failed to send the case over to the DA's office. Now that's what they told me. And they told me they was going to get it correct and going to get it back to me. And I have emails and stuff from where it was said. Because there was a witness to it. The man was Mr. Camillus DLC, and he's the one that spoke with. I have a recording of it, a video recording of it. And I also have the thing from Mr. S. Moore where she talked to Mr. Camillus DLC on the telephone. The person that was there with me, that was my witness. Because the schools, y'all wouldn't let me take the police report at first. I had to go to like the governor and somebody because y'all told me that Vivian Roach, when I went over to the police department, they sent me over to the sheriff department because it said it happened in the county building. And then when I went over to the magistrate office or whatever, that person over there told me, no ma'am, they was not going to file the charges because Vivian Roach was a school system official. She was a government official and they were not going to do it. Then I went back over, once I talked to somebody else, I went back over to the police department. One of the police officers over there from the sheriff's department walked me over across the street and to the building where it happened at, because he said he knew Vivian Roach himself personally and that he didn't believe Miss Roach did it. So he walked me back over there to that building and Miss Roach wasn't in. But then when I came back, I went back, they still wouldn't take the report. But then I went back and I talked to the governor, and the governor had said for me to take what the information I had back to the police department. He was going to make a call, or whoever it was going to make a call and speak to somebody, and they was going to take that report, and y'all did. But then I kept calling back, and then they finally told me a couple of years later that Officer S. Moore had left the Wilson Police Department and was no longer with the police department anymore in Wilson, and that they had decided that what they was gonna the police department had error because they didn't send it over to the district attorney's office, and that was one of the head officers that said that. And then he was like they was gonna get it correct or whatever the case may be, and I've been waiting, been calling, and now you telling me something about some officer said something was closed in because it happened on a government a county office.
I repeated what you exactly just said.
No, ma'am, no, you didn't, because that's not what I said.
I'm allowed to speak, and now you're not letting me speak. Can I speak?
Yes, ma'am, you can. We on recorded line. Yes, ma'am.
Explain to you what's going on. This happened in 2013, over 10 years ago.
And ma'am, I've been calling back.
You're not allowing me to explain to you, ma'am.
Well, explain, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay. This happened over 10 years ago, and according to the report, I have it pulled up. Apparently, Officer Moore, yes, you are correct. She is no longer here with us, but she advised you.
No, she didn't, because I hadn't spoken to Officer Moore.
Talk. You're still not letting me talk. That officer advised you that we would take the report, but ultimately, we would not be investigating the report because the county, the sheriff's office, had jurisdiction over this situation. At this time, this happened over 10 years ago. The case has been closed for that long. So I'm not sure who gave you the direction or instruction that we were going to investigate it, but we are not investigating that situation.
So you telling me that a person can be assaulted during a court case?
Okay.
Procedure.
If you would like for further information, you are more than welcome to file a complaint. You can do that.
A complaint against who?
You can file a complaint against the county for not investigating it. You can come into the police department between the hours of Monday and Friday, 8 to 5, and speak to a supervisor and ask them to give you more information on this case, and I can give you the report number if you would like.
Yes, ma'am. Give me the report number.
The report number whenever you are ready.
I'm ready.
It is 13-000-974.
And you know what, ma'am? There was something else that the police department did. They changed the report from being assault to having it say something about it was something. I got a copy of that police report, as a matter of fact. Both of them. It doesn't make any sense. This is not even making none sense at all.
Okay.
No sense at all. Because you saying that the police department closed it out because they said they couldn't investigate it because it happened on the county grounds.
Correct. It happened in a county building, and due to the sheriff's office having jurisdiction over that, the sheriff himself told you to come over here to the police department. We did the report for you. We did the report, but ultimately that was for the county to go ahead and investigate.
I did a report at the police department because the sheriff's department wouldn't take one because they said it was on the city property. So you telling me that it was on the county property, and it was. This
happened in 2013. I wasn't here in 2013. I'm going by what this report is saying, and what, according to Officer Moore that was here, what she was telling you. So.
Well, how is it this lady yesterday couldn't even find the report?
I was able to find the report.
That's what I'm saying. She said she didn't see anything in the system, but the day you find it in the system.
I mean, everyone has different ways of finding things. It could be that the officer couldn't find it. I pulled it up by looking at your name and just kind of looking to see and referencing things. But
well, what was the report she was speaking of then that was supposed to be like February 28th, 2014? Because that's the only thing that she saw in the system.
This is a date that was reported was February 20th, 2013.
So it's not one for February 28th, 2014. She said something about the only one she saw was for communicating threats, and I was the victim of it, and I told her I had no idea what that is.
Yeah, I saw that, but we were discussing that because what you wanted was for the 13th, for 2013.
Right. February.
Right.
So you saying?
Able to find it.
And you said it happened. What date is the date on this report?
The date for this report was 2/20/2013.
Well, ma'am, y'all didn't even let me take the report by 2/20, so I know this is fictitious. It was weeks later before y'all found and let me file a report.
You came in and filed it.
Not on no 2/20.
That's when you reported this crime.
Ma'am.
This all happened on 2/18/2013.
What I need to do then is go find the original police report, and I got a copy of it. It may be 10 years old, but this place on Facebook. So if anything that's not dated like you said is dated, and exactly what did that report say? Could you read to me what it says?
Yeah, it says the assault occurred on 2/18/2013. That is when the assault occurred, and the date that it was reported was on 2/20/2013.
Well, what did she write? What does the report say? I never got that.
And I'm not verbatim. If you want a copy of it, you have the report number. You can come in on Monday and get a copy. As a matter of fact, Tuesday.
And I'm not arguing, man. I'm just asking you because I have seizures. I want to hear what you said that it says.
Right. I'm not repeating and I'm not reading verbatim this report. It's a long report. If you would like a copy of this, you can come by on Tuesday and get a copy of the report. I gave you the report number.
Can you mail it to or send it to me by email?
You can call on Tuesday and get a copy of this via email on Tuesday. I don't have access to doing that. Switchboard does that.
And you said it's in Officer S. Moore's name?
Yes. She is no longer, and they were right in telling you she is no longer here with us.
And what do you say your name is?
My name is Officer Cruz. C as in Charlie, R-U-Z.
And they never investigated. They just closed it out because it happened in a...
I can't tell you exactly what happened. I wasn't there for this. I can just tell you what the report states. And from what the report states, at the end of it, it states that the police department does not handle anything that has occurred in a county building. And because of that, we would take the report. And that you understood that. And the case has been considered inactive. It's been closed.
Well, nobody ever told me that, ma'am. So I didn't understand it. So I don't know whoever wrote that and how I got there, because nobody ever informed me of that.
Okay.
Well, thank you, ma'am. And you said I can get it Tuesday then. Okay, then. Thank you, ma'am. You have a blessed day.
You as well.
Bye-bye.